Have you ever noticed someone who never answers phone calls? The phone rings, they stare at it, and let it pass. No callback, no voicemail, just silence. In a world where being available is expected, this behavior feels strange, almost rude. But psychology says it's not random. It actually reveals something deeper about their mind, their emotions, and how they handle pressure. Let's break down the real psychology behind people who avoid phone calls. Control over communication. 1. Control over communication. Psychology says people who avoid phone calls often prefer controlled forms of interaction, like texting. Why? Because calls demand instant responses, no time to think, no time to filter. By choosing text, they stay in control of what they say and how they say it. It's not about ignoring people, it's about managing their mental space. And that need for control often points to a more deliberate, thoughtful personality. But that's just the surface. It goes deeper. Overthinking and mental simulation. 2. Overthinking everything. Research shows that some people mentally simulate conversations before they even happen. They think about what to say, how it might sound, and how the other person might react. A phone call removes that safety. There's no pause button. This creates pressure, so instead of risking saying the wrong thing, they avoid the call completely. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much about getting it right. And that leads to something even more interesting. Sensitivity to interruption. 3. Easily mentally overloaded. Phone calls are unpredictable. They can interrupt your focus, your mood, even your energy. Psychologists link this to cognitive load sensitivity. Some people feel mentally drained when their flow is broken suddenly. A ringing phone isn't just a call, it's an interruption, so they avoid it to protect their focus and emotional balance. But here's where it gets misunderstood. Not antisocial, just selective. 4. Not antisocial, just selective. People who avoid calls are often labeled as distant or rude, but psychology suggests the opposite. They value meaningful conversations. They just don't enjoy forced, unplanned ones. They'd rather talk when they're fully present, not when they're caught off guard. This comes from a trait called intentional communication. They choose quality over convenience. And finally, the part most people miss: anxiety and emotional boundaries. 5. Hidden anxiety and boundaries. For some, phone calls trigger a mild stress response. Heart rate increases, thoughts race. This is linked to social anxiety and fear of unpredictability. But instead of forcing themselves into discomfort, they create boundaries. Avoiding calls becomes a way to protect their emotional state. It's not weakness, it's self-regulation. Final thoughts. So next time someone doesn't answer your call, don't assume they're ignoring you or being rude. They might just think differently, process differently, protect their energy in ways most people don't even notice. Avoiding calls isn't always about disconnection. Sometimes it's about control, awareness, and emotional balance. And if you see yourself in this, you're not alone. If you enjoy understanding the hidden psychology behind everyday behaviors, hit subscribe now, because here we don't just watch people, we understand them.